What's up? Welcome to the courtroom.
I am Theo.
And I'm Oj. And in this podcast, we tell you stories about people's life, liberty, and property.
Kikwentuhan namin kayo about court rulings in a way that will make you understand jurisprudence like a 9-year-old.
All persons before the Honorable Supreme Court of Justice shall give their attention for the court now in session.
So join us as we delve into true crime, political controversies, and all things tare de chismis every week. Si Ah Chong ay isang cook sa Fort McKinley in Rizal Province. He resides in Officers Quarters number 27 kasama ang kanyang roommate na si Pascual Gualberto na nagtatrabaho naman bilang houseboy.
Yung Officers Quarters number 27 na tinitirahan nung dalawa ay isang detached house na 40 meters ang layo from the nearest building. Walang natutulog sa bahay na yon bukod sa mag-roommate na si Ah Chong at Pascual.
Yung pinto ng kwarto nila opened upon a narrow porch running along the side of the building. The porch was covered by a heavy growth of vines.
And walang permanent lock or bolt yung kwarto nila Ah Chong. What they only do as a security measure is attach a small hook or catch on the inside of the door.
Nakaugalian na din nilang ihamba ang isang upuan sa pinto bilang dagdag harang. Meron lang maliit na bintana sa kwarto at tulad ng pinto nila nakaharap din ito sa masukal na pasilyo.
There had been several robberies in Fort McKinley, one of which happened in a house where Ah Chong was employed as a cook. It was because of these repeated robberies that Ah Chong kept a knife under his pillow for his personal protection.
Meron ding usapan ang mag-roommate na kung sino man ang uuwi sa kanila ay dapat kumatok muna at magpakilala bago pumasok sa kwarto.
On August 14, 1908, Pascual had left the house early in the evening and gone for a walk with his friends, Celestino Quiambao and Mariano Ibanez. Sila yung mga occupants ng Officers Quarters number 28. Naiwan si Ah Chong mag-isa sa bahay.
Pasado 10:00 ng gabi, nagising si Ah Chong nang narinig niyang may pilit nagbubukas ng pinto ng kanyang kwarto. Napaupo siya sa kama at sumigaw.
Sinong nandyan?
Nang wala siyang narinig na sagot, he got convinced that the door was being pushed open by someone bent upon forcing his way into the room.
Sobrang dilim sa kwarto dahil na din sa mga vines along the porch. Sa takot ni Ah Chong that the intruder was a robber or a thief, he warned the intruder.
Pag tumasok ka sa kwarto, papatayin kita.
At that moment, tumama ang tuhod niya sa kanto ng upuang nakaharang sa pinto.
In his confusion and because of the darkness, Ah Chong thought na yung tumama sa kanya is not a chair but a blow made by the supposedly burglar. Hence, he hurriedly seized the knife that he kept under his pillow and struck out wildly at the intruder.
Habang patuloy niyang sinasaksak ang intruder, tumakbo ito palabas sa pasilyo at humandusay. Sa liwanag ng buwan, nakilala ni Ah Chong kanyang sinaksak. It was none other than his roommate, Pascual.
Pascual? Pascual?
Seeing that Pascual was wounded, dali-dali din siyang tumakbo to get bandages and attend to Pascual's wounds. He also called out to his employers who are sleeping in the next house.
Tulong! Tulungan niyo kami!
Celestino and Mariano heard the cries. Pinuntahan agad nila ang quarter number 27 and found Pascual sitting on the back steps, fatally wounded in the stomach. One of them ran back to call Lieutenants Jacobs and Healy, who immediately went to the aid of the wounded man.
Ah Chong was placed under arrest and Pascual was brought to the military hospital, where he died from the effects of the wound on the following day.
Sinampahan si Ah Chong and was eventually found guilty by the trial court of simple homicide and was sentenced to 6 years and 1 day presidio mayor, the minimum penalty prescribed by the law.
During the trial, Ah Chong admitted that he killed his roommate, but he insisted that he struck the fatal blow without any intent to do a wrongful act. Kasi nga, self-defense naman daw yun.
The court also finds no reasonable explanation doon sa conduct ni Pascual. Unless daw balak talaga mang prank nitong si Pascual at takutin yung Chinese roommate niya by forcing his way into the room and refusing to give his name or say who he was so that Ah Chong would believe that he was being attacked by a robber.
So, ang tanong, criminally liable nga ba si Ah Chong for the crime of homicide?
In this case, the court held no. Ah Chong would be entitled to complete exception from criminal liability. Kasi daw, under such circumstances, reasonable naman daw for him to resist such intrusion and danger to his life by defending himself from the assault. And diba, nag-warning pa nga siya.
Exactly. Clearly, there was a mistake of fact.
Wait, ano ba tong mistake of fact na ito? Iba ba to sa mistake of law, Oj?
Yep, magkaiba yon, Teo. Yung mistake of law kasi is the lack of knowledge with the laws of the land, insofar as it applies to act, relation, duty, and matter in question. Whereas, yung mistake of fact is yung misapprehension of facts on the part of the person who caused injury to another.
In a mistake of fact, hindi ka criminally liable because you did not act with criminal intent. Napaka-importante pa naman ng intent, Oj, lalo na sa mga malainse crimes. Kasi intent is an essential element of a crime. Para masabing may crime, siyempre dapat may criminal intent pag mga malainse.
That's right, Teo. Criminal intent or mens rea refers to the use of a particular means to effect the desired result. In general, masasabi mong may criminal offense if it involves not only an act or omission and its consequences, but also the accompanying mental state of the actor. That mental state or evil mind is criminal intent.
Now, in cases of mistake of fact, masasabi nating walang intent. And dahil nga elements of a crime ang intent, pag walang criminal intent, then wala ding criminal liability. Wala ka namang intention kasi to do the criminal or wrongful act.
Pero syempre, dahil nga an honest mistake of fact destroys the presumption of criminal intent, kailangan patunayan na meron ngang mistake of fact na naganap. Di pwedeng basta-basta invoke to as an excuse to a crime.
This defense is only available in intentional felonies and necessary na ma-prove mo na you did the act in good faith.
And there are 3 requisites to say na meron ngang mistake of fact. First, the act done would have been lawful had the facts been as the accused believed them to be. Example, sa kasong ito, yung ginawa ni Ah Chong would have been a lawful act if totoong magnanakaw nga yung pumasok sa kwarto niya.
Second requisite is that the intention of the accused in performing the act is lawful. So, sa kasong ito, ang intention ni Ah Chong is to defend himself from danger.
And lastly, that the mistake must be without fault or carelessness on the part of the accused. Wala namang fault or carelessness sa part ni Ah Chong since ilang beses siyang nag-warning at sumigaw to ascertain the identity of the intruder.
Iba pa yung provision stated sa jurisprudence na to bilang 1910 case to, Odche. But in our revised penal code, Article 11 paragraph 1 provides that self-defense is a justifying circumstance. Pag justifying circumstances, ibig sabihin nun, yung acts done by a person is said to be in accordance with the law, such that a person is deemed not to have committed a crime and is therefore free from both criminal and civil liability.
Going back to the case, the court reiterated that there is no criminal liability when one commits an offense or act due to ignorance of facts, provided that it was not due to negligence or bad faith. Such ignorance of the fact is sufficient to negate the particular intent which under the law is an essential element of the crime.
A careful examination of the facts convinces the court na Ah Chong struck the fatal blow in firm belief that the intruder was a thief from whose assault both his life and property was in danger.
It is clear that he acted in good faith, without negligence and without any criminal intent in exercising his right to self-defense.
Sabi nga sa case na to, the author of the penal code deemed criminal intent or malice to be an essential element of various crimes and misdemeanors. At ang essence of an offense is the wrongful intent, without which an offense cannot exist. There can be no crime, large or small, without an evil mind.
In other words, punishment is the sequence of wickedness, without which it cannot be, and neither in philosophical speculation nor in religious or moral sentiment would any people in any age allow that a man should be deemed guilty unless his mind was so.
This doctrine is confirmed by the maxim actus non facit reum nisi mens sit rea, in which the act itself does not make a man guilty unless his intentions were so.
Kaya naman, the judgment of the trial court was reversed, and Ah Chong was acquitted of the crime of homicide against Pascual. Na-realize ko lang, Teo, na a lot can happen in 5 minutes.
A lot. Tulad ng ano?
Many things. For example, you can take a power nap in between reading cases. You can grab a snack. You can stretch. You can watch a movie. You can even stage a prank if that's your thing.
In between cases?
Oo, in between cases. Alam mo pa kung ano ang pwede mong gawin in 5 minutes.
Ano?
Opening a BPI account online. Yes, you heard me right. For those who are not yet BPI clients and do not have an account with BPI, you can now open an account without having to go to a branch. All you need to do is download the mobile app and fill up the necessary information.
Once you have opened the account, you can shop online, transfer funds, send and receive payments, pay bills, pay loans, and so much more. So, download the BPI mobile app and open an account online anywhere because hashtag kaya yan with BPI.
If you guys like this audiogram, please listen to the full episode on Spotify or on your favorite podcast app, where you can hear our insights on this case. Again, this is Oj.
And Teo, leaving you with a reminder to always look back in history because precedent shall rule the future.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again in the courtroom.
Bye!